Hi, this is Judy from the Huron County Community Library, and I'm here in my kitchen today with my friend Mitzi. You may know her as Miss Mitzi from Storytime at Willard, and she's going to help us today with a very special cookie recipe. So take it away, Mitzi.
Hello everyone. I'd like to thank Judy for inviting me into her kitchen. Just a few things. I love to cook, I love to bake, and I used to always, my kids are grown now, Shannon and Sean, so hi guys. Every year when they were growing up though, we used to make the traditional cutout cookie, and I would always let them choose a new cookie. And this is how this recipe came about. I had just received a Taste of Home magazine, and I'm like, oh, well, let's look at this and see if we can find a new cookie. And so that's what we did. And so the cookie that we found is a Ginger Cranberry Pinwheel. It is a very pretty cookie for Christmas. It takes a little time to make, but it's so worth it, and they really are delicious. I have another little story to share with you. So I was a part of a group of ladies who we decided to have a cookie exchange one Christmas. And I thought, oh, this cookie is so pretty. I just wanted to make a pretty cookie for everybody. And yes, I knew that there was some time involved. However, there were 13 of us. Each person got a dozen cookies. This is not that recipe that you want to use, because I was up until midnight making these cookies, but it all worked out. Everybody got a beautiful cookie with a new recipe. So I hope you will take the time to do this recipe. And I don't have a picture of it yet, but soon when they come out of the oven, you'll see how pretty they are. So let's get started. So for your ingredients, what you need are a cup of butter, which we have, and a package of cream cheese. And you want it to be softened. So get it out a little bit early and let that soften up. And you're going to add that to your mixer. So I'm going to go ahead and get that in. I'm going to pull my sleeves up because I don't want to get my sleeves all full of cookie dough. So we'll just pull them up a little bit and they'll be out of the way. Okay. So we are going to add that to our mixer. And this dough is really easy to work with once you get it started. So I'm going to start to cream that. See that butter? It almost tried to jump right out of there. And to that, you are going to add a 1/4 cup of sugar. I'm going to turn that off so I don't splatter it all around Judy's kitchen, because she'll have a sticky mess to clean up. And cream that together pretty good so it's nice and creamy. And to that, we are going to add 2 1/2 cups of flour. So I have my measuring utensils here. And as you are measuring this out, it's very important, I know, to always make sure that you measure correctly. So you want to level off your flour. And you just do that by tapping it with the back edge of the knife and then scraping it like so. So there's our 1st cup. I'm going to turn this on slow just to kind of get it started so the flour doesn't fly all over the place. It's looking good. We're ready for our next cup. I feel like we should have a little holiday music playing here. Could always sing if you want. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. We've had a little snow. Not sure if we'll have a white Christmas or not, but you never know. Mother Nature, she does whatever she likes to do. looking pretty good, and we need one more half cup. Okay, you want to mix that up really good. So let's just give it a few minutes here. And sometimes your flour wants to go to the bottom of your bowl. If you get it mixed up really well, what I always do is I just kind of stop it, pull your dough down. And it's kind of it's a soft dough, but it's kind of thick at the same time. It's not overly sticky. And you just want to make sure that you're getting that all off your beater. And what you can do is then once you go to take it out of your bowl, and I'm actually going to use my hands because this works better if you use your hands. When I go to take the dough out, I can actually roll it around at the bottom of the mixing bowl, and you can kind of knead in the rest of the flour that may be there. Or you could use your spoon and you can just kind of do this. But I'm going to pull this out so you can actually see what I'm talking about. So here's my dough. And you can see there's still some flour in the bottom that's a little crumbly. And I just kind of work that, and you just kind of knead it around, and you can knead it right into it. I'm not sure why it does that, but it all works out all the same, you know, and your dough will be fine. And what you're going to do with your dough then is you're going to take it and you are going to just get it all rolled into a ball. Kind of knead that flour in. You can see how it's kind of kneading in. And anything with cream cheese is always good. So there's cream cheese in your dough, so you know it's going to be good. And you just knead it into your ball. And then you can put it into a bowl, and you put it in, cover it up, and you put it in your refrigerator for 1 hour. And I've already done that. So my dough is ready. And you can let that sit out for a little bit, because what you're going to do next is you're going to get ready to make the filling. Okay, and now on to the filling. So for your filling, you are going to need a half a cup of fresh or frozen cranberries. I'm using fresh today. Cranberries are very healthy for you. They have a lot of vitamins in them. You need 1/4 cup of sugar. You need 1 tablespoon of water. You need 1/4 cup of orange marmalade. And it doesn't matter what kind of marmalade that you use, or brand, I should say. You can use any brand. I think this is the secret ingredient that really makes these cookies stand out. It just so delicious. So even if you're a person that doesn't normally eat orange marmalade, you'll be surprised at how delicious this recipe really is. You need 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger. You just kind of want to level that off a little bit. And it's just enough ginger that it's not overpowering. So I think you're really going to like that. And then you need, that's all you need. And then you have to cook it. And you want to cook it in your saucepan, which I have here with your spoon, on top of your stove. And you want to bring your everything to a boil over a medium heat. And then you want to reduce your heat and simmer it uncovered for 5 to 6 minutes or until your berries pop. Remove it from your heat. And then you're going to stir in your marmalade, which I did not do, but and your ginger, and then you set it aside. So, but that's okay. We can correct that. I can pull my orange marmalade out because it's not touching anything. So I'm going to do that. So see, sometimes you have to read your recipe completely, but I have where it was all onto one side, so it'll be okay. And I can pull out my little cranberries. I know this is not the first time I've made this. And other people, I know we've all made mistakes when cooking. It's okay, because you know what? You can fix it. And if you can't fix it, well, you just start over. So I'm just going to pull my marmalade out. Most of it anyhow. It's not going to hurt it any because what it does is I think it makes it, it helps to thicken it and make it glossy. And so we're just going to do our little fix here and it'll all work out. It'll be just fine. So that's most of it. It'll be okay. So now we're going to cook it on the stove. So here we go. So our berries are cooked and that's cooling a little bit. So your next step is to take your dough and divide it in half, which I have done. And you want to roll your dough out on a floured surface. So I have my flour on my mat here and we're just going to roll out the dough a little bit. And it doesn't have to be perfect, and you can re-roll it several times if you have to. It will tell you that to roll each portion into a 16 by 12 inch rectangle. Well, mine never rolls into a rectangle, but that's okay. It's more like a big circle, almost like I'm making a pie. But you can see it's fairly close. Then what I do is, it says that you can cut it with a sharp knife or a pastry wheel. A pizza cutter will work as well. So what I like to do is I just like to kind of score it and make it into that shape of the rectangle. And you can, like I said, save your dough and reuse it, re-roll it out. So this gets fairly close to what the directions say, making it into that rectangular shape. And then you are to cut the dough into 4-inch squares. I'm not going to measure it. I just kind of eyeball it. And you can do that yourself. If you want to measure it, you can. So I have my rectangle shapes cut. And this can be, if you want them smaller, you can just cut smaller squares. I'm doing it larger so you can see it a little better. You are to place it on a lightly greased cookie sheet, which we have here. So I'm just gonna do a couple of them. I'm gonna go ahead and move this out of my way. And what you want to do is you want to spoon a little bit of your filling in to each of the square. Just about half a teaspoon. And there's a teaspoon and you can see that's about a half. You're going to put that into the center. And then what you want to do is you want to take your knife and you want to make a cut in each corner. But not clear through to the center. And this is where making your pinwheel, you might think this is difficult to do, but I'm going to show you how easy it truly is. So it kind of looks something like that. You can see where I've made my cuts. You're almost making them into a triangle, but not clear up into the center. Then what you're going to do is you're going to fold alternating the points to each center to form your pinwheel. So you will take your first one here. And what I like to do is I like to kind of hold them up. And you're going to put that into the center. Put this into the center and just kind of press down a little bit because you want your dough to kind of form there. And you can see there's our first pinwheel. It's pretty, isn't it? Let's do the same with the next one. So it's every other corner. Now, I have found sometimes when I bake these that one of your corners may come undone. It's okay, because those are the ones you get to eat, and that's the best. So what you're going to do next is you have your pinwheels done. You are going to take a whole cranberry, and you're going to press that directly into the center. You're going to put them into your oven, and it is a 350-degree oven. You're going to bake them for 12 to 15 minutes, or until lightly browned around the edges. You will then remove it to your wire rack, and after it's cooled a bit, you'll dust it with your powdered sugar. Let's make just a couple more. I'll put my filling in the center there. Bring your edges in, every other one. Add your cranberry. Okay, we're going to go ahead and pop these into the oven. We will see if my edges unroll or if they stick together. Hopefully they will stick together. You just never know. And you might need to practice this a little bit, but that's okay. It's just a beautiful holiday cookie. So here we go. So it's been about 15 minutes. You can see the edges are lightly browned. So I brought them out. I'm going to let them cool just a little slightly. But you can see how pretty they are. For the most part, when I did make my pinwheels, they did stick together. They didn't come like apart and look all floppy. So we're going to just take them off here. We're going to put them onto our cooling rack. Now this dough is it's kind of a soft dough, but it's real easy to work with. But aren't those beautiful? Kind of makes you look like a little poinsettia. And we'll let those cool just a little bit. And then what you do is you dust them with powdered sugar. I'll talk just a bit about some of my favorite Christmas cookies. Of course, I always make the traditional cutout. My daughter, when she was younger, always used to have her friends come over. Meredith and Lindsay, if you're watching, those girls had the best time in my kitchen. The floor would be a hot mess by the time they got done with all the sprinkles and everything. But we did that for many, many years where her friends came over. At one point, I think she might have had 8 friends over in the kitchen, and we were a little crammed in there. But, you know, it's all about sharing the memories. And my daughter now has a son who will be 2 in January. And my grandson will definitely learn how to make some cutout cookies. Grandma will have fun doing that. My son's favorite cookie is called a chocolate crinkle, and you dust those with, or roll those in powdered sugar too. Another favorite that I have shared quite often with a lot of people is my molasses cookies. That's a must every year in my kitchen. And so I hope you have had fun, enjoyed watching this today. I hope you will try a new cookie. I continue to try new cookie recipes because there's thousands of them out there. So they've cooled a bit, and what we're going to do is take our powdered sugar, and we're just going to kind of lightly dust. Makes it look like you're dusting with snow. If you like a lot of powdered sugar, you can put a lot on or just a little bit. And then we will take it and we're going to transfer it to our platter over here. And you can see how beautiful these cookies really are. So they really are worth all the time and effort that you put into it. And I think your family will enjoy it. So have a Merry Christmas, everyone.